Greetings. You are tuned in to Cease to Exist Show, edition 165 with me, C. And I've got a very special show for you today. It's something I've wanted to put together for several years by now, and the planets recently aligned and I managed to interact through time and space with none other than Doug Hammond, an artist I've hugely admired for quite a while by now, for his compositions, drumming, poetry, singing, multi-instrumentalism and catalogue of self-released records. What you're hearing in the background is an example of such a recording called Funk Beat from the Motherland, taken from his Ellipse LP from 1976-77. There's a lot we didn't talk about: his collaborations with Steve Coleman, his performing with the likes of Nina Simone, Donald Byrd, Chet Baker, Sonny Rollins and countless others. We spoke mainly about his own recordings, and I really wanted to get as many of these in the show as I could also, so you're certainly in for a treat. To find out more, you can visit doughammond.org, and I highly recommend the recent documentary Sparkle of Inspiration, which is currently on YouTube. We're going to set it off with the first recording of his that I heard, Moves, recorded in the early 1970s and released on Tribe Records several years later. And for the rest, I'll post a track list alongside the show online in my archive at mixcloud.com/C27Beats, SEE27BEATS. Enjoy.
Whispering a sound to the one who cares, sweet and gentle moments, feelings to be shared. Time won't make a difference when true love begins. We will hear the chanting when our hearts begin to sing of the songs we have within. A word or two can bring the joy we used to want to know. For patience teaches that we are where we know we ought to be. life a love song just for you and me. Then we'll make things happen sweeter than a dream, and our hearts will teach us some new songs for us to sing to each other of new things. So come and be the one I know you ought to be again. So full of love and happiness you used to have within.
Hello?
Is that Doug Hammond?
Yes, it is.
Hello, hi, this is Carlo calling from London, England.
Oh, yeah. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really glad that you're interested in doing this radio show. I've been listening to your records for some time, but yeah, there's a lot to ask you. So, let me see where to begin. So, something that captivates me about you and your output is the artistry of it. I knew you primarily as a percussionist drummer, but then discovered your voice and words and the piano playing and the other instrumentation that you also did yourself on your records, and that seems to be a distinct singular approach in putting things together. But yeah, the first record I heard of yours was Reflections in the Sea of Nurnen, and initially I heard a compilation called The Universal Sounds of America back in 1998. It had a couple of pieces by David Durrah, which were included on initially on the Reflections in the Sea of Nurnen record, which I didn't manage to get hold of until a few years later. But that was originally out on Tribe Records, and it infuses some beautiful musicianship, creating interesting and intriguing, unique sounds, which I can apply pretty much across the board with all the records of yours that I have heard. So, yeah, to start off, if you could speak about how you got involved with the Tribe movement in Detroit and how this album came to be.
Okay, David's name is Durrah.
Ah, okay.
Pronounce it as Durrah because I think
Durrah. All right. I didn't know that. Yeah.
How did I be? Well, that's kind of a... well, okay, to put it this way. This Sea of Nurnen we recorded in 1972 in San Francisco, because I was going to college out there. And actually, originally, it was supposed to come out on Strata East.
Ah.
Strata East. But Strata East at that time were going through some kind of, how would you say, they were going through a period where they were redoing their infrastructure, put it that way. And so there was time here, going back and forth, and it was delayed. So Marcus Belgrave came to New York at that time, because I was living in New York at the time. And he visited this place that I used to do. I had a little place in New York on St. Mark's Place that I did some of my workshops and poetry reading and stuff called Someplace Nice. So I invited him by to speak a little bit about what was happening in Detroit. And he started talking about Tribe Records, magazine and stuff that I didn't know was going on because I had left, And so I told him that I had this record. He said, well, why don't you do it with Tribe? You're part of the family from Detroit. And so and so and so and so.
that the war is brought on by another, by another. Can't you see? It's a game that's played on all the brothers, all the brothers. When the ones who do it to you turn you on yourself, then you fight a war and end up on the shelf. What a way to treat the people. No jobs but lies, the prices rise. You fight a war, now crooked law. When are we to wake up, brothers? Is it true that we're selling our souls in the game for the money? Who are you when we play on each other for fame? Why so phony? When are we to come up with a helpful new game making bad? Can't you see that whatever we do is a thing for new fads? It is time for us to do it for ourselves and get out the wall that put us on the shelves. Can't we see that we are dying for crumbs and cars, our family stars? We need some land to make a plan. When are we to wake up, brothers?
So I said, okay, well, he'll talk with Wendell, and then, so as it transpired, Wendell called me and said, yes, we would like to do it. Of course, we had to finance it because it's self. So that was the association with Tribe. Now, that association with Tribe goes a bit further back because there were two organizations in Detroit called the Detroit Creative Musicians Association. That I was the coordinator and vice president of, that most of Detroit musicians were in, including Marcus Belgrave. Then came another group focused on so and so and so. So it's like a family thing in terms of that coming together in such a short period. So that's why we did it in Detroit. But at the same time, you think about the Tribe label, this was the first, anyway, the Tribe label was more centered around, at that time, more this more Afro-centric and kind of funky thing, Well, this record seems to fit in the not only to fit into the genre, but associating with Harold McKinney, Marcus Belgrave, and Wendell was relatively new to me. I met him, but he was relatively new. Came when I left Detroit. He was from Detroit, of course. But anyway, that's how that happened.
Okay.
Long. How to make a short story long.
David Durrah, was that how you pronounced it? Durrah. So I think, is he still active in New York?
Oh yes, he's active. He's even active in the Museum of African History in New York City. He was in Harlem.
Okay. So you had a composition on that record called Moves, which
yes.
I wasn't aware of this until about maybe 4 years or so ago, that actually it was recorded, I think prior to that record coming out, by an incarnation of Charles Mingus's group.
It came out later.
Oh, it did?
Yes, because, I'm not sure, maybe, because the Moves was recorded originally in 72. And the record came out in 75. Now, Mingus's record, I don't know which year it came out, but it was recorded after.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, to have so his album was titled after your composition, and obviously you played in that group. So how did you begin playing with Charles Mingus, and what was that like, having your composition selected to be performed, recorded on his album?
Well, that's interesting. Let me see. Well, how did it happen? At the time I was playing with Mingus, I was doing some stuff with 10 pieces at Studio Review, Sam Rivers, not far from there. And
yeah.
So in the Bowery area in New York. And one day we were on tour with Mingus, and I had been rehearsing some music for about 8-10 pieces at Studio Review. And I had cassettes. I was checking it out while we were on tour in the hotel room, and I heard this knock on the door. And it was Mingus. He said, "Well, what's that music?" I said, "Well, this is music that I did arranged for this thing I'm doing at Studio Review." He said, "Okay, give me 2 compositions for the band." I was shocked. He said, so I submitted 3 compositions, and that's the one he chose.
within.
Wow. And then he passed away just a few years after that, isn't it? In the late 70s.
Yeah, he passed away about 5 or 6 years, I think.
Yeah. Before I move on to your albums, you're on Lonnie Liston Smith's Cosmic Funk album, which was also around the time that record came out. Then there's a composition by Matume on there, called, I don't know how to pronounce it, the Egypt one, Sais?
Oh, Cosmic Funk. Actually, I and Andrew Surreal were on that record as percussionists.
Uh-huh.
As a percussionist. Because of that period in New York, I worked in New York I decided to work as a percussionist more because I was not willing to do the disco beat.
Right, yeah.
kind of mostly did the percussion thing with my own percussion setup, and I decided to work that way because, you know, it's more easier and everything.
I mean, there was a lot going on at that time in that sort of fields for in New York, the what some people would call the loft movement. So I guess you mentioned Studio Rizz. So I suppose, was it you were working, I guess, with a lot of different people in that?
Well, what happened at Studio Rizz is Sam Rivers, 68, I came to New York and I got some guys together like Sam Rivers, Raymond Reed, Bobby Few, and Cameron Brown to rehearse some of my music, and I lied and said I had a job. This is because they told me, you might do this. So Sam heard my music. He liked my music and everything. So when I came to New York in 71, and I go to Studio Rizz, he remembered me and said, "Look, I'd like you to do a program here." He remembered my music. I was a little surprised, but so that's when I started doing. It was a large ensemble, and I played with a couple of his ensembles too.
And before moving forward, so I'm just curious, when did you develop an interest in the drums and the percussion? Because I saw that you'd studied classical music before that, basically in the 60s, was it?
50s.
50s. So.
Right, yeah. Well, I wanted to play violin, but I mean, how it started was I went to school. I knew I was going to be a musician, so I went to school, and the band director asked me how many children were in the family, and I told him, 6 of us. He said, "Well, you should buy some drumsticks," because my mother couldn't buy the instrument. But I had to study trombone 1 year in elementary school. But so what I did is I started studying the drums and fell in love, and that's what my classical studies were about, because I decided I would be a percussionist and learn all the instruments, classical, contemporary, and I took private lessons for 4 years. And I came to I developed, what my teacher said, he would teach me what's possible to read, to read what's written, and actually I was his best student, and I actually achieved the level privately, because I was a fanatic. I practiced 8 to 10 hours a day. So actually my classical studies was in percussion,
Uh-huh.
and being also becoming the drum captain and the band captain, where I had to conduct. The band captain wasn't there. We had to do Beethoven. I had to go and conduct it, which I could because I was just into music. I loved classical music and all that was how that come about.
Uh-huh.
Even though I never pursued a classical career.
No. So
it's obvious.
Yeah. So how did your path into the sort of jazz side of things emerge? What were your inspirations there?
Well, I grew up. My mother and father were what you call ballroom dancers. They were like a couple in New York, in Tampa at that time. They were tailors. They made clothes, and they were considered as the best couple dancing for Afro-Cuban. For jazz ballroom dancing and Afro-Cuban. And in that time, in the period in Tampa, I found out. I used to think it was that Duke Ellington and Count Basie would come to Tampa. They Duke didn't like to go south, but he would come to Tampa for some reason. Tampa was considered as the Harlem of the South, and all that kind of stuff. It had a pretty thriving music community. Cannonball is from Tampa. Ray Charles did most of his work down there because that was the biggest city in the region from the blind school and everything.
Mm.
So there was a big, very vibrant community of musicians even when I was coming up. But so I watched my mother, father. They would take me. They would make little kids at 3 and 4 years old. They make me a 3-piece suit and take me to the bar where they were dancing. I would watch them dance and hear these great bands,
Mm.
So, as a kid, I didn't realize the significance of it. But like my mother said, Cootie Williams was her favorite trumpet player. Later on, I didn't understand that. But I found out later that these were these bands, So that was part of how. And everybody in the family, at that time when I was 3 and 4 years old, if I walk up and down Central Avenue, you heard bebop music, you heard jazz music all up and down the street. It was common. It's like. So that was part of the culture.
Right.
That gospel was even more so much. It's part of the culture.
Uh-huh. So it was quite a natural progression.
Yes, my mother and father loved the music, and they had a record player. We used to play it. And one of the defining times came for me to be more conscious of the music was one day my father was playing a record. I don't know if it was Billy Eckstein or somebody it was kind of, and I would say, well, what's that? So he grabbed me very tight and said, sit and listen. Don't like it, let me know, but just sit and listen at least. I sat and listened and fell in love. That was it.
Lovely. It's interesting, while Sun Ra is cited as an innovator taking things into his own hands by starting Saturn Records independently to release his music without compromise in the mid-1950s, actually Charles Mingus, his wife Celia and Max Roach started their own label, Debut Records, as early as 1952. So we're going to get into Idibib Productions, your label, in a moment. A string of wonderful releases, self-released albums, is what you came out with towards the late 1970s. And did Mingus offer any advice on starting your own thing, or was it more from your experience with Tribe that triggered your own motivation to do it yourself?
Well, in my situation, most of it had to do with economics. I studied a little business in school. I went to a trade school. I studied something about business. And my family is known for having their own businesses. My grandmother, my father's mother, their family had a pig farm in Florida. And my uncle, one of my uncles, it was a rag man, and everybody laughed at him, but he had his own business. So what when it came to the record, actually Idibib Productions was a production company.
Uh-huh.
And I think, well, having a record label is like another company. So a record company, I see the production company. Well, productions, you can produce anything. You don't have to have a record label to produce a record. All companies produce discs and stuff to represent themselves. And I said to myself, well, one day it won't be records necessarily, but it's a production company. Sure enough, it came to CD, right? So it was a CD company. So anyway, this came about because after when we produced the record on Tribe, well, we couldn't, Tribe doesn't, it's like Tribe is like a cover label, but in terms of ownership, it had to be production and the publishing, because, it's a basic business. If Tribe owns something, don't pay any money to things. So as time went on, I had to put things out, so I just put it out on a production company, which is legal as a record company. It's just it's a production, so, and copyrighted like anything else, So,
right.
And so that's why the production, I had to get things out to represent myself to be able to work. And I noticed with other record companies, many people advise me to say, you can do a record. Their companies will give you a record, give you $500 as a leader, and then you get 2 records. I said, well, how would that represent me to get work? He said, well, this will get publicity. I said, well, so I said, okay, it's better for me to get records so I can send a record to say, here, this is what I do. I need jobs, which actually worked. And so that's how I looked at it, because, from all the things I knew about records and record companies and nobody getting anything, I just didn't want to go through this.
Right. But you were doing the distribution yourself then as well, right?
Well, at that time there were a lot of independent distributors. That was one of the things that was quite prevalent. I didn't distribute it myself. I made deals with the various independent distributors. One in Detroit, one in Washington. Different distributors. San Francisco, New York was one. One couple in New York. So I dealt with it that way, and then I just sold them on the day. So it worked basically. Basically, to me, I looked at the record as something to motivate work and that people could have of the band if we could constantly turn that over, which was almost impossible to do with my bands because economic reasons. I didn't have the finances. Everything was like a turnover. Turn it over into everything all together. So that sustained me, as well as working as I was a musician who played everything. People would call me for things other people couldn't do, because I could read anything, I could play anything, I could play a show, I could come in and do a show right away. So I used all that to finance. Then when my daughter was born, I had to get serious.
Yeah. Yeah, so on the Idibib Productions, you had a few records out in the late 70s, early 80s. So you had Ellipse with Karen Joseph, Folks, Spaces, and after a few years you did We People. And so to me these records, along with Alone, which was out on, I think, Scarecrow Records.
The German label. It's the German label.
Right. So, yeah, we'll get to that as well. But yeah, they play to me like a night of fragmented dreams when I listen to these albums. The recordings contained, the compositions selected, and the way they are sequenced. By the time I've listened to one of these records all the way through, it's as if I've experienced a montage of dreams with certain moments that stick out among the textures. And to me this is really an artist with their own vision working on their blank canvas, and because you put them out yourself, you could do it exactly the way you envisioned. I see it as that's how these records came out. And I also love the album artwork, from the record covers to the layout and the type fonts, everything. So Ellipse was the first of these that came out, featuring collaborations with Karen Joseph. How did that come about when, as the first record that you put out yourself?
Well, at that time, in New York, I was affiliated with a percussion ensemble with a drummer named Art Lewis, Roger Blank, and a young man named Michael Carty. And it was like something that I formed together. We got Michael Carter's young guy. So we were doing this, and eventually we even had Ed Blackwell come in and do a couple of concerts with us. Yeah. And in the process of, when you make a record, you have to have money. I didn't have any money to pay any of these guys, and I refused to do the old-fashioned thing of saying, do it and I pay you later, because I couldn't guarantee I could do that, and I wasn't willing to struggle and play a game. So I had I was really naive on that record because I thought I could just go in the studio and overdub, because naturally I could understand that. That was a task for me because I realized how naive I was when I had to put those headphones and play through the electronics, and play with it. Which to this day, I can't stand the studio in terms of playing with the headphones. It's kind of out of my point. So anyway, I went and did this record because I wanted to present this body of music in order to get work again. Now, it's another naive point. What I did on the record is not possible to implement on stage.
Uh-huh.
Your body lies unboxed and naked, planted vertically in a hard November earth. Like stars, modular roots of scallions dig deep into your eyes. Above, in the bird sanctuary, broken discarded eggshells hatch an albino wind. An old Indian flint lodges in your breast. Your brain falls in upon itself like charred wood collapsed upon the glimmering ashes. And through osmosis, memory filters outward, draining into pine roots. Mandibles of ants stroke faint, emanating waves of thought. The earth drank your pain, and between her palms of rock compressed diamonds from the thigh bone of dreams. A hawk is flung in graceful parabola through an eye of air, turns, and its talons release the sky. It falls forever, forever, forever.
I mean, especially since I'm playing everything, right?
But in a sense, that removes the limitations. Because I suppose although I understand economically, you want to perform what's on the record on stage, but to be able to make something that you can't play on stage, I suppose, gives you more free reign of what to create on the record, in a sense.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, the sense of being in the studio and doing that anyway, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking, I wasn't putting it all together. So I was not really pleased with the record, but when it came out, it was so different. There was no way to say, well, whether it was good or bad. But it sounded good, and I liked it. And I said, well, okay, this is adequate. It is adequate because there's a lot of mistakes and stuff. At least the motion of the pieces moved along. It didn't stop. You don't have a jagged edge there somehow.
Mm.
And so I say, okay, well that's acceptable. That was acceptable. So I say, okay.
Uh-huh. I think I'll play Concentric Dream from that record on the show.
On that record is Concentric Dream. Is that with the flute?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the record that followed that was Folks, a couple of years later, it looks like, which is aptly titled because there's a variety of musicians contributing on there.
At night, dark trees hang down where lies a coffin deep in the ground. They cry, winds rush by. At dawn, the winds will fly beyond sleeps and dreams are zaning on, will know true freedom yet, and folks around Steve Biko's grave his words stir the night, winds whisper, arise, arise, arise.
The very prolific Cecil McBee appears in places, and then another name. Sorry?
What was the name of it? What was the name of that you just mentioned?
Cecil McBee, the bass player.
Oh, Cecil McBee.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't write any music on it, but he played on it. Yeah.
He played on it, yeah. And then I cannot never pronounce the name. Is it Bayard Lancaster?
Bayard.
Bayard. Okay.
Yeah, Bayard Lancaster. Yeah. And the compositions by Marvin Blackman, I think.
Right.
Angela Bofield, all that.
Marvin Blackman, yeah. I know him from. He was on the Rashid Ali record. Was it Moonflight? Yeah. So, yeah, various musicians on folks. And actually, I really like the combination of you playing with Bayard Lancaster. appears on other records of yours as well, I think. Spaces, yeah. But yeah, there's also musicians I'm not familiar with on there. And so how did this one come about in terms of who was performing on it?
Folks, well, that was Cecil McD. I think John Lurker might be on it. John Lurker. And Marvin Blackman, Alex Foster. Alex Foster is an alto player.
Yeah.
Tenor player also.
Hubert Eves is on there?
Hubert Eves. Hubert Eves was is a piano player. I'm trying to think of the great singer who died years ago. The rhythm and blues singer. If I can think of his name, he was one of the biggest. Hubert Eves became his musical director. That's why you don't hear him. But I met him in California, and well, this happened in New York. So I asked him if he would do it. He said yes.
Oh, and it also says introducing Munir Abdul Fattah on there, which
cello.
The cellist, yeah. And I saw that, which I haven't heard this, but you there was a record of his that came out with Idibib Productions in the late 80s. So yes. I need to try and hear that somehow. But I
think he called it For Them.
For Them, right. Yeah, but need to find a way to hear that one. But so folks, yeah, it's a great record. There's a track on there called Gatito, I think I don't know the pronunciation or the meaning, but
it's Gatito is Spanish for little cat. Kitten,
okay.
Gatito for little cat. Tito. And this is because we had a cat named Gatito. My cat was named Gatito. So several had a cat together. And it's for little Gatito. Actually, this became kind of strangely when the record came out. Gatito was the song that was the hit in Atlanta, Georgia, which was strange to me. But they loved it in Atlanta.
you're the second person I'm interviewing, a drummer who's named a record after a cat of theirs. The other was Stephen McRaven. He did a record called Wooly the Newt, which was the name of his cat as well. Yeah. So yeah, folks, and then you had was it the same around the same time that the Scarecrow record came out, the Alone, which was you performing solo, yeah, but various instruments, and that was on a German label, is it?
Yeah, it's a German label in Frankfurt. Was a label.
Yeah, and it says on the back it says that all the recording was done completely without playback.
Exactly.
So that means, what does that mean exactly, actually?
That means without overdub.
Without overdubs, right. Okay.
That means that if I'm playing like sometime if I'm singing and playing, and I don't know how they work, I'm playing everything live in the studio.
I thought that could be what it means. So yeah, that's really interesting. And yeah, it's great to hear everything coming from you on that one. I think I'll play. There's one composition on there, 3.5 in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if it's around the same time. There was a record by the Family of Percussion group.
Same year, 80.
Yeah, and you played with them on a few records, right?
Yes, I played with them for 4 years. I mean, I'm on 3 or 4 records with them. Another record with that name, yeah.
Yeah, so they used this composition and named an album after it, which Archie Shepp featured on that record, and I think you also had another record with a version of To My Family on Spaces. There's a version of it, so I'm not sure which version to play.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Maybe I'll play the Family of Percussion version to get some more.
To my family?
Yeah.
The Family of Percussion is Here Comes the Family.
Here Comes the Family.
That's a different composition.
Oh, it's a different one?
To My Family. It's a different composition altogether.
Oh, right. But it has.
To My Family.
Actually, yeah, it does. It is different, but it starts with the same. I think it has the same lyrics in the beginning.
No, it's different lyrics altogether.
Oh,
one
right.
is with the mallet, and the other one is with the percussion. The kind of funky beat going on.
Here comes the family walking down the street, checking out the scene, so cool and looking mean. Here comes the family walking down the street, checking out the scene, so cool and looking mean. People give the message to the family on the street, talking, squawking, jaw-jacking, rapping, talking, squawking, jaw-jacking, rapping. People give the message to the family on the street, talking, squawking, jaw-jacking. The family took the beat.
Say ham bone,
Move your feet, shake, break, get down, down. Come, get your treat, dig now, blow your mind.
I said, I want you to tell me now, boy, what you heard.
Move your feet, shake, break, get down, down. Come, get your treat, dig now, blow your mind.
If that mockingbird don't sing, don't you know that Papa gonna buy you a diamond ring? Oh, if that diamond ring don't shine, yeah, Papa gonna take it to the 5 and dime. Hey, ham bone,
Move your feet, shake,
say
break,
what you
get
heard.
down, down.
Papa
Come,
gonna buy
get your treat, dig
Gonna
now,
buy you a
blow
mockingbird.
your mind.
And if
Come,
that
move your
mockingbird
feet,
don't sing,
shake, break, get down, down.
oh yeah,
Get
Papa's
your
gonna
treat,
buy you a
dig
diamond
now,
ring.
blow your
I say,
mind.
ham bone, yeah, what you heard. Papa gonna buy you mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing cheep cheep, yeah, 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 yeah. Diamond ham bone.
Here comes the family walking down the street, checking out the scene. So cool and look at me.
Don't you know, don't you know, don't you know,
Here comes the family walking down the street, checking out the scene. So cool and look at me. People give the message to the family on the street, talking, squawking, jaw-jacking. The family took the beat.
1, 2, my families, I think, is in 5/4. So it's a different tempo, different meter.
Okay. I have to listen again.
Children all around, looking for the sound to live the fairy tale of life. To live the fairy tale of life. No fairies around, none to be found, just space, a place happening to play. Play! Place to hang, 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 hang out. Place to hang, 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 hang out. Children all around, music is the sound. Children make the dreams true before they come. So we give, 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 give life. So we give, 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 give life. Old folks all around, looking for some ground. Old folks all around, wisdom is the sound. People all about, why do without? When we play, hang, live, right now. When we play, hang, live right now. People all around, living is the sound. When we open up, there will be some ground to live the fairy tale of life. To live the fairy tale of life.
So to my the Family of Percussion group, is that based in Germany as well?
Well, it was based in Germany at the time because Peter Giger, the leader. I mean, it was slated as elected, but actually Peter Giger was the leader. Lived in Germany. I was living in New York, and basically New York, Darmstadt, and everybody else lived in Europe. Tom Nicholas, Darmstadt, Trelock lived sometime with Peter, sometime in Cologne or somewhere. I'm not sure. Moved around. But we worked together for 4 years.
Do you have a favorite record of those recordings?
Favorite record? Well, I have favorite compositions. I don't have a favorite record of those. I mean, I like some of the compositions on 3 of those records. Some of the compositions. But, I mean, favorite, no.
Okay.
Really. Well, maybe the one, what's the Message to the Enemies of Time, I think that's the name of that one. Message to the Enemies of Time. I don't know if that's the name of the one with the first record. I like that one the most.
Right. Okay. So then, yeah, after a few years, We People came out.
Why do we run away? And do we play the game? We know love is. Hey, time is all in space. Don't rush the life away. Soul in living. Don't rush the life away. Hey, time is all in space. We know love is. No more waiting will do for us to be in peace, making what we need. We were waiting to hear a word of the love, then nothing for the life. So we go on and make a way for the life, yes, caring as we do. So we go on and make a way for the life, yes, caring as we do.
I noticed the musician on there, Jaribu Shahid, which I noticed he played in the Detroit group Griot Galaxy, which I'm really interested in and would like to do a show on as well. But I don't know. Obviously, Farouk Zibay is no longer with us, and so I'm trying to find someone I can speak to on that front. But wait, did you cross paths with them because you were in Detroit for a long time, isn't it?
Well, I knew Farouk because when I knew Farouk, he was playing the instrument, but I didn't think of him as a serious musician at that time.
Oh, no?
He was practicing at the time, but he actually functioned another way. I mean, he was more a poet at that time. And I was surprised when I found out about this Griot Galaxy. It's like years later, by accident, I found out.
Huh.
But the thing with folks, I mean, with this, not folks, but We People, that record, it has also Regina Carter on it, violinist. And actually, I think that was her first European tour, kept coming over with my quartet. But that was with Regina Carter, Patrick Lanier, I think, playing guitar. And
Wendell Harrison is on there.
Wendell Harrison, and Dwight Adams. Trumpet. Yeah, that was the next record because I wanted, by having moved from Europe, instead of going back to New York, I moved to Detroit, so I decided I would like to do something with musicians from Detroit and come into Europe. So that's why that record was produced in Detroit.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Even though it didn't really work out that way, but
yeah. 'Cause shortly after you began teaching in Austria, right? Around that time.
Yeah, at the Bruckner Conservatory, which eventually became Bruckner University.
Ah.
Yeah, I began to teach there. Yeah, in '89. Actually, it was '90. At the end of '89.
And you were there for quite some time doing that.
18 and a half years.
Huh.
I mean, the idea for me, teaching, because I have a daughter in New York, I said, well, maybe I'll do something. I teach for a while and for 5 years until I gather myself and go back out in the field. But I had a daughter my daughter was born, my second daughter was born, and I said, well, you know, and my daughter came from New York and said, don't leave her alone. Well, I mean, I wouldn't anyway, so that's why I kept working.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised I made that 18 and a half years. But at the same time, I had, for 16 and a half years, for 4 or 5 times a year, I had a series of jazz and blues series, government funded, for 4 or 5 times a year that I did. That was my baby. That was the one where I brought in many people.
Great. Yeah.
That gave me.
And you've put out a fair amount of music in that time as well, which, to be honest, I'm not that familiar with. Because I know the earlier stuff more, but I don't know if you could speak a bit on how you approached things throughout that period while you were teaching, but also recording and still performing, I guess, right?
Well, this, performing, things kind of got different in the sense that I had to form groups. I'm not the person to go out there and just put something together and just give people anything. So it was a little difficult. I had to form a group. That's when I formed a group with Dwight Adams, trumpet player from Detroit. And definitely, according to the musicians, I have to have music that accommodates the musicians for what they can do best, And so naturally, that's the time period to put that together. But I had enough repertoire, so White Adams, I could do some stuff. First with Gina Carter, we did it too, with Wendell Harrison. It was actually interesting. Gina Carter, Wendell Harrison, and Munir on cello. Okay, they one tour. That was, that one tour was okay, but that was proven to be not something that would go further. And by the nature, the Gina was moving forward, naturally,
Yeah.
It was nice. I like that. I like that very much. So, and the process of going back and forth to Detroit, my main station was in Detroit then. I had a little place. And so every moment I was free here, I was there. New York, Detroit, Florida, my family, this.
Right.
Yes.
So, along with all that, you also had you've had a few books published.
Yes, I have now my 5th book I just had published just last year. That was a book called, what was that? Times on the Planet Earth, and another one came out, The Offer, which was the 4th book. And then the 5th book last year was The Dope of Power.
Right.
And,
yeah, I haven't had the chance to see any of those. So what are you writing about in those?
Well, it's poetry, commentary, and some short stories. Very short, and it's hard to describe. Well,
Spankin-It is his name. No claim to fame. No claim to fame. Simply Spankin-It.
That's what they said.
Who are they? Whoever may say, Spankin-It simply. The smooth ride on a simple tide. Even the smallest boat has a sense of pride.
However,
beware of that simple pride, where ventures take egotistical stride. Spankin-It. What you say amongst people of hip ways when Joe Flacco simply says, "Are you hip? Is you hip, man? Are you hip? Is you hip, man?" What you say? What you say? What you say? Got a hammer, the Hubbard, you thumpty bump.
And you, so I just saw this documentary a few weeks ago, which I wasn't aware of. The Sparkle of Inspiration, which I think it's fairly recent though. Anyway, which it's really I really enjoyed it. Which is a documentary which follows you, sort of where I've been recently. There's some live footage. There's you speaking on a variety of things, and how did this documentary come about?
Well, a young man here, a film cameraman and film producer. He's a documentary filmmaker in Lens. Gets a stipend from the government to do something.
Uh-huh.
So he decided that he would like to do it about me. And that's what was happening. And so I agreed with a lot of stipulations and so and so and so. And we did. It took about a year or something like that, maybe a little long. No, it took a year actually. And so yes, I mean it was basically his theme was about my composition. It's a very to me, but in composition. He wanted some kind of. People ask me about why, how, this and what. At first I didn't understand what his aim.
Right. Because
I thought a documentary means something different for me. So when it came to dealing with composition, if you notice, I can give some poetic expressions, so to speak, right? But I can't really explain these things.
Yeah.
And some things are just inexplicable, But I mean, the thing is, I think what happened was in the process of all the footage that we took, I feel that he did a pretty good job. I was surprised at his conclusions in the film. So I had to edit it. We had to edit and go back and forth.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at his vision of it, So I kind of went with his vision, and rather than be so critical, because I'm extremely critical.
Yeah.
Myself. So I say, okay, I'm gonna go with his vision of it, and I kind of, and I don't. For me, it's very difficult for me to say about myself because I don't really have a concept of myself.
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like that's I'm like, well, when, where, which circumstance. I don't spend so much time thinking about. I say, I'm here every day. I'm here myself. I don't need an ego because I'm already am. I always thought ego was kind of, I say, something is wrong there, So what about schizophrenia, two personalities? Well, why not have 10?
Sure, yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But I like it. I began to like it. It took me a while.
I really like it. I think it came out really nicely because it doesn't focus, it has almost a free-flowing nature. It doesn't focus too much on chronology. It doesn't focus too much on it links things quite well and loosely without being too rigid in any way, which and you get a sense of your music, your approach, your distinct style, but also your person, and I think it does a nice job of balancing these things. Obviously, I don't know you well enough to know how well it does that, but from having the records and listening to them, it works well as an accompaniment to that, I think.
Thanks. Well,
yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah,
that's inspiring.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, you get that, if you get this from that, it feels good. I would tell Dieter that. He would like that.
Yeah, well, no, I do find it very inspiring, and I'm quite looking forward to watching it again, actually. So you also have a new record out. It's online on Bandcamp?
Yeah, Maybe Blue.
Maybe Blue, yeah.
The two groups. Actually, this is my first record with all European musicians, except John Sais.
Uh-huh.
He's from New York, but he's been living here 35 years. But this is the first all European musicians, even though the saxophone player, Maria, is from Switzerland. She lives in New York. But, first record is like that. And it's two different groups, which is a trio and quartet.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's more of a, I don't know, traditional sounds to it, I would say.
The trio.
Mm.
The trio has a more of a traditional, because we swing, we play swinging type music too.
Yeah.
And the quartet is another shade of, I wouldn't say, it's well some traditional things, I guess you could say too. But traditional sounding thing maybe, but it's a little bit more involved in other ways. But that was, it's all live with different concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Except the trio is live
yeah.
in the studio. That's trio is live in the studio, 2015.
Hmm.
16, 15, 16, I think it's 16. It's 16.
Okay. And yeah, so that's what you're doing now. And I don't know if there's anything else you want to say. I'm not. I can.
Well, the other thing I would like to say is that for the years past, from 2008 until about, well, up until now, 2008 to 2013, 14, most of my work was solo, and there are 2 solo albums out. One is on this thing called Heavenly Sweetness label.
Oh yeah.
With Kirk Lacey on that, and another one on what's the name of this label from Terry Ness? Another solo record, and another. Well, actually, there was another Idibib record out. Came out. One called "It's Now," Dwight Adams, and with "It's Now" Dwight Adams, Roman Filiu, and John Sais on Idibib. And the other one, what was the name of this record from? It's called New Beginning.
New Beginning.
New Beginning.
Yeah.
New Beginning. It's a solo record. A solo duo trio. Actually, solo and duo with Stefan Paya from France and bass player. Famous bass player from New York. Well, I don't know what's name right now. But these records came out in this period too.
Yeah. Is there any recordings on those that you would particularly like me to include in the show?
Well, no. I would rather for you to choose however you feel.
Okay. It's just okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I need to hear those because I haven't heard those records, and some of them I think came out on CD, and that they're not necessarily.
They all came out on CD.
You're right.
They all came out.
Yeah.
And one is on YouTube, to Amazon.
Uh-huh.
But,
all right, I'll see what I can find, and I'll give it a listen, and I'll choose accordingly. A bit of a out of the blue question, probably because I've gone through the questions I had, but so I'm wondering if you can think of, I suppose growing up, was there possibly any concert that you attended that you found that made a big impression on you at all? I don't know why this question just appeared.
Well, I mean, where I grew up, there were a lot of concerts that I was influenced. I mean, I checked out. When actually younger, well, there were a lot of concerts. At a young age, I began to start playing in clubs at 16. So, because I played drums, I was the only young drummer at that time playing from my region. There were other drummers, they played circles around me, of course. And by that factor, I was always around musicians. And I played concert. We had my band at the high school was a famous high school band, marching band and concert band. Even though it was a double B band, we played for, even colleges would hire us to play classical music because the band was so good. And I loved playing this music. I was playing timpani and all these instruments. So that, and plus festivals with other bands playing music, and in Tampa, there were many places where you could hear music. And then where I lived in West Tampa, which was a Cuban community too. So as I walk out of my door, I hear Afro-Cuban music all the time. I hear jazz music all the time, blues music. Sometimes people playing there was a lot of music around, a lot of good bands around and stuff. So I lived, some club would be playing. I would sit outside the club and listen to the stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't being nobody, you know. So there was a lot of music around to listen to. And classical music, television, I remember seeing this Rite of Spring, Stravinsky conducting in Miami. I don't forget this thing with the dance ensemble. These were kind of things I liked. And Nat King Cole's show was on TV, bringing Ella Fitzgerald and all these people. There were a lot of different mediums, and you had at that time in the station, you had a black radio station, a white radio station. It was like that. So, like, many black radio stations and many white radio stations.
Oh, right.
And it was done like that. So you had some stations play jazz, some play blues, everybody played gospel. There was so much of that going on that you could hear music.
Uh-huh.
Especially in Tampa. So it was all around. And since I was a percussionist, my teacher, I was the best. It was apartheid at that time, you know.
Yeah.
They called Jim Crow, you know, black and white. And my percussion teacher was the principal percussionist in the orchestra, Metropolitan Orchestra in Tampa at that time, good orchestra. And he invited me to the rehearsals, which was kind of strange to see this little black guy come in there, you know. But nobody would say anything. I would sit in there and listen, and that was also a very inspiring experience to watch the conductor, and great conductor, I'm trying to think of his name, Italian conductor, very good. So there was a lot. I was just completely in music and nothing else. I mean, I was not, I didn't drink, smoke. I didn't think about, I said, well, no women, because the thing is, if I have a baby, I'm going to be stuck here, so I have to come to grips with that after I leave this place, even though it didn't work out like that, but anyway, that was my aim. So I was a fanatic in this. I knew I had to leave, so I made it a point to seek out music, all kinds of music. I played country music. I like music, you know, all music. My main interest was jazz.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was young. I said, I'm a young person. I should be able to enjoy doing all of this, you know.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. So you have a website, which is...
That's DougHammond.org.
Right. So everyone can go there and learn more.
Hammond.org.
.org.
That's my...
DougHammond.org. Yeah.
www.doughammond.org.
Thanks so much for giving me the time on the phone, and I'll let you know.
I do have excuse me, but I do have a request.
Yeah.
I would like for you to, if there's on this record, The Real Deal. The record is called From Heavenly Sweetness label. It's a French label. And there's a song, the song Moves on there. I would like the one with me singing with Kirk Lightsey playing piano.
Okay.
Because I'm always trying to, because he lives in Paris, and I'm always trying to, and I love that version of it.
Whispering a sound to the one who cares, sweet and gentle moments, feelings to be shared. Time won't make a difference when true love begins. We will hear the chatting when our hearts begin to sing of the songs we have within. A word or two can bring the joy we us two want to know. For patience teaches that we are where we know we ought to be. Hey there, loved one, there are moves and no heartache. Look about and inside, two may see together. No worry will ever do. Yes, we will know, spirits aglow. We come together for love is here, and feel the feeling we hold so dear. Now to be forever where we want to be, making life a love song just for you and me. Then we'll make things happen sweeter than a dream, and our hearts will teach us some new songs for us to sing to each other of new things. So come and be the one I know you ought to be again. So full of love and happiness you used to have within.